I want to tell you a story about a father, but not just any father. I
Mhm.
want to tell you about a father who was a creator, a loving master, an awesome craftsman. And one day he decided to create something of great beauty and value. He knew that this creation would be astonishing with unique qualities that stood out. The father wanted his creation to represent his love and shine for him. His heart was massive, it could not be measured. And so he needed something that he could love. The father carefully chose the perfect time to reveal and bring forth his precious creation. And he called it a precious jewel.
Mm.
He called it a precious jewel. He called it a gem. He called it precious. Despite the jewel's beauty, it was strong and built to last. And this jewel could endure any season and weather any storm. This jewel, my sisters, is tough.
Mm.
Beautiful, but tough. This jewel was chosen to be loved, and this jewel was chosen to show and give love. The father chose his jewel to be like anything else, to be like none other jewel. What good would it be if all of the precious jewels were exactly the same? That would be pretty boring. Was this jewel perfect? Absolutely not. Not even close. The jewel had many flaws, yet the father still chose it and loved it unconditionally. He just couldn't take his eyes off of this beautiful, stunning jewel that he had chosen. He often lovingly cradled the jewel in his hands and held it close to his heart with love and admiration. He would hold the precious jewel up and say, "Have you seen my precious jewel? Isn't it magnificent? Isn't it beautiful? Isn't it lovely? I love this jewel. I have chosen it. Nothing compares to this jewel." Now, my sisters, often the father would just stand back with eyes of adoration and look at the magnificent jewel that he himself had created and chosen. Oh, the jewel had so many qualities and much purpose. The father never ran out of ways to use his precious jewel. I mean, this jewel had it going on. This jewel could do so many things. This joy can be used to bring joy to people. This joy shines. This jewel represents and reflects the Father that created it. This jewel could take the heat without getting burned. This jewel could fall, but not break. This jewel would fall without being broken and go through so many things, but would never give up and would never be broken. This jewel could be used to add so much value to so many situations and bring joy to so many lives. I want you all to know, my sisters, that the Father never stopped loving his chosen creation, his jewel. He never walked away. He never took his eyes off the jewel. Never, not ever, not even once. But you know, there was a problem. The jewel didn't realize its value and its beauty and how essential it was to the world. But oh, guess what, my sisters? The Father recognized everything about this precious jewel. And he made many promises to the jewel. And guess what? He kept everyone. He never forgot. It was against his personality, his makeup, to go against his word. He spoke to his jewel and he never forgot his promises. The Father constantly told his jewel, "Be strong, be courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them, for I, the Lord your God, go with you. I will never leave you and never forsake you. He said that in Deuteronomy 36. In 2 Timothy 1:7, he said, oh, taste and see, my jewel, that I, your Lord, your God, I am good. Blessed are you because you take trust in me. He said that in, I got that wrong. He said that, I quoted myself wrong. I think he said that in Psalm, wow, that was not even on my list. It just came out. It's Psalm 34:8, I think, or Psalm 38:8. The Father told the precious jewel, I have not given you a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and a sound mind. That was 2 Timothy 1:7. And then the Father told his precious jewel in Isaiah 43:2, my precious jewel, my chosen gem, when you pass through the waters, I will be with you. I will be with you. And when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. When you walk through the fire, you will not even be burned. The flames will not set you ablaze. The Father was with his chosen jewel always. He saw and felt everything his precious jewel experienced. He never regretted choosing this precious creation. And he told his jewel in Romans 8:28 through 30, my precious jewel, know that God is always at work for your good because you love me. You are the ones I have chosen for my purpose. And I have always known who my chosen ones would be. I have decided to let you become like my own son, so that his son would be the first of many children. I then accepted the people, you, my precious jewel, and I have already decided to choose you, and I have shared my glory with you. The jewel was precious. The jewel is beautiful. And guess what, my sisters? That precious jewel, it's you. It's us. It's the women of God who give our lives to serve the Lord and sacrifice and do our best to serve him and seek him each and every day. Like the jewel in the story, he created us, my sisters, to be resilient. He created us to be strong. He created us to be courageous, unique, and valuable. Come on, my sisters. And somebody already said today that we are essential. Like the jewel in the story, we've got to realize our value and our worth and how much God loves us and can use us. Like the jewel in the story, we can bring joy to people. We shine. We reflect the Father's love. And how many of you know that we can take the heat, we can go through some heat, but we don't have to be burned. Fall and not be broken. I can think of all the times that I have fallen or I have stumbled, but I have not broken and I have not given in, and neither have you. I know that all of us have fallen or stumbled at times, but you have not been broken and you didn't. Take the heat without getting burned. We add value to so many situations, so many places, and so much more. And ladies, I know that ministry is a joy. And it's an honor to serve God. It's an honor to be trusted by God. It's an honor to be used by God. Absolutely. But I also know there have been plenty of times when I have not felt chosen. And there have been plenty of times where I thought, in the midst of pain and going through and aggravation and being mistreated or misunderstood by others, I thought, and I may have even said to God, I did not sign up for this. I did not sign up for this. I'm speaking for myself. I can't speak for you. And I can think of the years when my husband was first appointed to be the pastor of a church that had been in existence for decades. Some of the senior women in the church immediately let me know that they didn't think I was chosen.
Mm.
And I can specifically remember a day when my husband hadn't been preaching, been the pastor there that long.
Mm-hmm.
And during the service is going on, during testimony service at the start of service, one of the mothers of the church stood up during service and she publicly congratulated my husband because he was sent to be the pastor of the church where his grandfather was the pastor. So they knew him, they knew him and they loved him. And they were proud of him. So she stood up in the service and she let him know how proud she was of him. And so how happy she was that he was there, and named all the different things that he had done in the past and what she knew he was going to do. And then she began to speak with admiration of the former first lady. Who was there before me, and all of the things that she had done, and she did this and she did that. And she said, I remember clear as day, she was the first lady, second to none. There will never be another one like her. Turned to me where I was sitting and she pointed to me and she said, don't you forget it. I thought, I did not sign up for this. God, I did not sign up for this. That was just one of many times I think of times when my marriage has been in jeopardy. I didn't sign up for this. Finances in jeopardy. I didn't sign up for this. Hurt, misunderstood, mistreated, talked about God. I did not sign up for this. My times of discouragement and crying out to God, each time he would listen. He would let me say what I needed to say. And he let me feel what I needed to feel. And he would say, you're right, my daughter, Tracy. You didn't sign up for this, but you were chosen. Chosen not to be mistreated or talked about or misunderstood, not chosen for all of that, not chosen to go through and experience all types of trouble. But my sisters, God reminded me that I was chosen to be Tracy. I was chosen to stand when I feel weak. I was chosen to see my sisters and show love and encouragement and reach out to them. I was chosen to encourage others when I so desperately need encouragement myself. I've been chosen to step outside of my comfort zone and trust God and keep my eyes on him. I am chosen to forgive others when they hurt me, treat me. I am chosen not to hold on to things and be bitter and allow it to keep me in the prison and die inside my heart when I have a life to live. I have been chosen to get up when I feel down. I have been chosen to bleed and heal and then help other sisters who are bleeding. I have been chosen to seek God constantly and do my best to obey him. I've been chosen to soar. I've been chosen to make it. I've been chosen to be victorious. I've been chosen to reach out to others. I've been chosen to receive from God and others. And ladies, I've also been chosen and allowed to feel overwhelmed at times, but chosen not to quit. And that's just some of the things that I've been chosen for. And it takes a lot for me to even share some of the things that I share. But that's part of my chosenness. God allowed me to go through things and experience things so that I could run to him and receive from him and then come back and tell my other sisters, I understand.
Mhm.
It's not always perfect. It's not always the pretty picture that people think it is. And this is what I did, and this is what God did, and this is what we can do. We need each other. We are stronger together.
Amen.
And that's part of my chosen.
Mhm.
Chosenness. I just made a word. That's part of my chosenness. So that's me. Okay. That's me.
That was
Mhm.
excellent. That was really beautiful.
Thank you.
Really
Mhm.
Thank you.
Mhm.
That's just me.
Mhm.
And I don't know about all of you and where you are right now at this moment, or how you feel, or how you're doing. Life could be a bouquet of roses for you right now, and that's great. You could be filled with joy and perfectly content, and that's great. And thank God for that. And then there might be some of us here today who are in pandemic overload. Tired of it? When's it gonna end? Lord, how much longer? What to do? What? Overload. Change. This pandemic has lasted so much longer, I know, than I ever thought it would last. We have experienced grief, loss, disappointment, illness, in our family, going through, then trying to help others while they go through all types of changes, seeing the doctor on Zoom, meeting on Zoom. It's a lot. It's a lot. So some of us might be over it as we trust God. Some of us might be dealing with loneliness, or we just drained, tired. Ministry is already hard. But then you add the pandemic on top of it, we can be absolutely drained, but we're still chosen. We might be in periods or have moments of depression, but we're still chosen. We might get afraid sometimes. We're still chosen. We can be concerned. I mean, I can often be concerned about, especially, my husband as a man, but then also my husband as a pastor, his health, and then what the weight of ministry and, trying to figure everything outness of everything. So I'm concerned. I'm concerned about him. I'm concerned about my family. I'm concerned about my friends. I'm concerned about those other women I serve. I'm concerned about the other pastors' wives, or the women who I know, who I try to encourage. Some of us might be burned out. Some of us might be dealing with marriage issues, family issues, people issues. We don't know. I don't know what you all are going through or how you feel right now. And I truly don't have all the answers. None of us do. But this I do know. I care. I care about you, my sisters. Even better than that, God cares. He knows and he sees. And again, I say, we need each other. This is not the time to be one man on the island all alone, or even we need more. I know me, I need more than usual. I need more support than usual. We are better together, and we are stronger together, and we are not alone. We are not chosen to be alone and to always go through. So this is what we are. We are chosen, but there are some things we're not chosen to do. Ladies, we're not chosen to do it all. We're not chosen to know it all. We are not chosen to live lives of exhaustion and weariness. We're not chosen to not rest. We are not chosen to beat ourselves up or be in guilt or doubt or have shame about our lives. We are not chosen not to set boundaries of protection, to protect ourselves and guard our heart. We sure ain't chosen to be abused or mistreated.
That's right.
We're not chosen to be anyone else other than us. Whoever your name is, that's who you are chosen to be. We're not chosen to fake it. We're not chosen to hurt and then not allow ourselves time to heal. We are not chosen, again, to live life in regret, and beating ourselves up. But we are still chosen by God, no matter where we are now, and no matter where we have been in the past. I'm not talking about you chosen to be a pastor's wife. I'm talking about you are chosen as a woman to serve God and to love
Mhm.
him and to live for him. And we know, ladies, that being chosen is nothing new. The Bible is filled with examples of women in the Bible who were chosen. So I have just a few examples for you. Phoebe was chosen and commended by Paul as a chosen servant. Philip's daughters were chosen to prophesy. Chloe was chosen to help Paul. Priscilla was chosen to help guide Apollos. Abigail was chosen to be an influence to King David. Deborah was chosen to be a judge. Mary Magdalene was chosen to see Jesus when he resurrected and tell others about him. Esther was chosen to save God's people. Ruth was chosen to be part of the lineage of Jesus Christ. Hannah was chosen by God because of her faith. And Mary, the Virgin Mary, was chosen to carry God's only son and to raise him and to take care of him. And what about you, ladies? I don't know exactly all specifically what God has called you to do as women, but I do know this. We are chosen to be ourselves. We are chosen to trust God. We are chosen to pray. We are chosen to seek God. We are chosen to live for God. We are chosen to take care of ourselves and set boundaries and guard our hearts. And we are chosen to allow ourselves to heal for as long as it takes. Sometimes when we have surgery, they'll say, okay, you need to rest. It's going to take 6 to 8 weeks, but it's not always like that in life. Sometimes some of the things we grow through, or some of the time the hurt we have takes much longer than we think, and we cannot beat ourselves up or rush ourselves or say, well, why is it taking so long? And that's why I say allow ourselves to heal for as long as it takes. For such a time as this, ladies, we are chosen by God. God knew where you would be right at this very moment. He knew where you would be today, where you are in life. I'm not talking about, he knew you would be right here in this group, but I mean, he knew where you would be in life. He knew what your thoughts would be. He knew what your emotions would be. He knew what you would have to go through to get to today. And he has still chosen you. And I want you to know that God has chosen you, and you are not only enough, you are more than enough. Appreciate where you are in life now, at this moment. You are chosen to appreciate who you are. You are chosen to receive. And we are chosen, my sisters, to support one another because we are stronger together. My sisters, you were chosen. And I thank you for answering the call and stepping up to the plate and allowing yourself to be who and what God has called you to be, and not who and what person, people expect you to be. You
Amen.
to be who God wants and not